the best interaction is real.
It's much more difficult when you your eye gets to compare the physics of the real world.
A lot of times it just doesn't feel as good as it looks when you're filming it with the camera practically. Well, in Aftermath, we have our main shuttle crash, and we could have done it, a number of ways. We could have gone full CG with the entire sequence. It would have freed up the cameras a little bit more, but it would have been a tough thing to take on. We've been looking for an opportunity to shoot models on Universal for a while, and Robert Cooper, who wrote the episode, he wrote a lengthy sequence for the shuttle crash.
When you have a space shot of spaceships flying around that's entirely CG, that is something where there's nothing real to compare it to. So there's no reference that makes your eye go, oh, that doesn't look real, so the whole thing is a little more easily accepted. When you combine real-life elements with CG, that's when you start to get into the discrepancies. You have to represent lighting and interaction of real objects with the CG, and they have a much harder time, I think. And if you can use models to create that, at least elements, then it's going to give you a better looking shot in the end. It's going to create something that just feels more real.
When a model hits the ground, hits trees, hits the side of a mountain, it's one place where CG kind of falls a little bit short because, you're shooting something practically and it really shows up well on camera.
In this case, we don't actually build a fully detailed shuttle. It would have been great, but it was far too expensive.
We had the model shop here build a 4-foot model of the shuttle, and that was taken from actual CG files. And we had 4 basic setups that we were going to do. We were going to do the shuttle attached to a parallelogram and basically slammed into the ground.
It's just a little one. We're just pushing up a little bit of sand and dust up in the air to help create the impact of the spaceship into the dirt.
We had the shuttle running along the ground, which was on the parallelogram as well. The shuttle through the trees, where the shuttle was on a rig attached to a skate and then dragged through the trees themselves. And then the shuttle hitting the cliff, where once again it was on the skate and it hit kind of the side of a 3-foot mountain that was created by the special effects guys.
We have a beautiful fluorescent bubblegum flavored shuttle.
It was painted digital red because we had the trees, which are green, and then a blue screen behind to create the sky in the background. The red is keyed out so you can place anything in there. And what is done is a skin, basically, of the shuttle, and its textures and everything else is placed over top of the red practical model. And then that's composited in, and so you get, a nice look behind the exploding sand, the exploding trees, and everything else, and you get to keep your actual CG model in there.
I think that if we had tried to do it entirely in CG, it would have cost as much and probably not been as successful.
I think it looks so much better than it could if it was created all in CG. I think it was for sure the right thing to do and the right approach to take.